So we are past daylight savings time and we are now
We are.
into difficult timelines for weddings because we don't have as much sun
It's
and
true.
it's cold
Mm.
and it's wet and it's mucky and it's muddy. What do we do?
Muddy
Where do
and
we
mucky.
start? Welcome to What in the Wedding, a wedding planning podcast where we help you expect the expected.
That's right. We said expect the expected because while you probably don't attend a lot of weddings,
We do.
we do. So sit back, relax, and listen while we chat all things weddings. Enjoy.
Enjoy. We're a little
How is
man
everyone?
the end of wedding season. How many more weddings do you have
It's
left?
like coming off the peak. Oh, how many weddings do I have left for this
Yeah,
year?
yeah.
6 weddings.
I have one.
She's rude. No, I love my winter wedding, so I'm super pumped. And Hannah actually messaged me last week and
I
was
was
like,
gonna say this.
regrets. I want winter weddings. And I was like, I say, oh no, I don't want them next year because I want to spend time with my baby. But then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I do love a winter wedding. I do love them so much.
It definitely ebbs and flows for me. I was a December bride. If you're a new listener here, last year I had an epic meltdown after one of my couples, and they laugh about it now, but at the time no one was laughing, that they were very upset that I could not stop the sun from setting at 5 o'clock and that they wanted photos after the
Hmm.
ceremony, but they hadn't put their ceremony till like 4:30 or 5, and they refused to do a first look. And they said, "But Hannah, we hired you for these beautiful, bright pictures. What do you mean they're going to have to be in the dark? We don't want dark flash photos." And like, I cannot prevent the sun from setting. I can't do it. And that was not
Come
enough.
on,
And it
Hannah.
became
You're
like
a
a whole
magician. Come
thing.
on.
And so I had a meltdown last year and I said, Ashley, do not send me one couple who has a wedding after daylight savings time. And now here we
So I
are,
didn't.
future Hannah. I have one wedding this weekend, which I had already had booked, and they were the sweetest couple. And I was like, okay, I can't say no to this one. But I have nothing the rest of November, all of December, February, March. I waited till
That's
after daylight savings
wild.
time, and now I'm missing them. Now I'm not going to have any snow weddings. I'm not going to have any Christmas weddings. So now I'll book them next year, and then next year I will melt, and I will have none for 2027. You watch. It's a pattern, people.
The
I
year
should be
by year.
studied. I should be studied. But so yes, tell your couples I'm back on board with winter weddings.
I literally take you off the vendor list for daylight savings. I'm like, daylight savings time, exclude this vendor. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you texted me, and they didn't end up booking because I don't have a December wedding, but you were like, I told them you're not booking December, but to ask. I don't think they ever reached out though. They were probably like, I don't want anything to do with that woman.
No, they were like, oh, wait, about me?
Well, no, me, because you told them to
Oh,
go ahead and reach out to
mhm.
me that maybe I would do it, even though I wasn't booking
Yes.
December weddings. They never reached out,
Right.
rightfully so.
Oh, yeah, because I was like, oh, she might not. She might. And that would be the same thing for me, though I'll probably end up taking December next year, even though I told Hannah I'm closing my books. I have as many weddings as I want to take next year, but I don't have any December right now. So for me, I'm like, ooh, but if a December wedding comes along or end of November wedding, I love a Thanksgiving wedding. Who knows? Only the
I don't
future
know if I've
holds.
ever done a weekend after Thanksgiving because I usually block that weekend off because of Black Friday shopping. I'll have to look. I feel like we might have done one together.
I know.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like we did too. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe. I can't. I don't know. That's neither here nor
Maybe.
there. So, in wedding news, you were telling me before we got on here that one of your reels is taking off. So, tell us about that because I have a counter
Oh,
opinion.
yes. She
Tell me
does.
what
So,
it
and we've
is.
actually talked about this, I think probably our last episode, or maybe our one welcome back. It's this controversial issue with guests taking pictures during the ceremony. So, I think it's more for like photo can crop out people's hands that are like right in the aisle to a
Yeah,
degree.
it's
If it's like
video.
covering the couple, that's kind of
Yeah.
it's video that really struggles, and an investment in a great videographer is a huge investment these days. I would say they're probably
Yes.
like your planner is usually your most cost, then your video is close underneath.
Hmm.
I think they're like literally the second most expensive, and then photographer,
That's
and then we go
wild
down the
too.
list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it really, and I get why video is because they have to catch so much footage and then sit through
Oh, I get it too.
hours and hours right up to
That's the
go through
worst
that.
part.
So
Yeah.
I've actually, so anyways, I I'll say it right out. My sister is in digital marketing. She works for the state of Tennessee and she does a great job at it. So I hired her to do my marketing. So she does all of my digital marketing for Instagram and Facebook and all of that. And one of my weddings, she filmed me, and it just so happened to be a wedding where guests were, I mean, they weren't just a single hand, it was like full bodies, and they hit the
Mhm,
photographer. And
mhm,
I was like, this is a
mhm.
disaster. And the photographer kind of fell over. It was kind of just like a hot mess. And I was like,
Yeah,
I even said in my reel, because I don't think it's okay to tell your guests they cannot take any pictures. I think that there's
mhm,
just the time and the place when. So if we need to teach etiquette, like if that's something that's in the program or an announcement that is made by the officiant, it's really like just not when they're processing down the aisle or recessing out of the aisle. You can get great footage just from your seat, I promise you. But once that photographer or videographer steps out in the middle of the aisle, it's free game. Like if you want to
yeah,
get up and stand up in the middle, like take as many photos as you want at that point because they're not in the line of fire. You just have to remember the investment of the couple. So you're looking at when you see a photographer and videographer, the average investment for that is sitting between anywhere from eight to $15,000. So think about that investment that that couple is making. It's a big
that's
investment.
insanity, I didn't realize it was that much.
Because the average photographer is starting packages are usually about 4
That
to
makes I
up.
mean, that makes sense.
And then the average videographer is usually about the same. They're usually 4, like, the lowest I've ever seen is
Right,
maybe, like, a new videographer, like, at, like, 3,
yeah,
and then, up, but most of my videographers start at 6. So no matter what, if you're a 4 and you're a 6, you're a $10,000 investment.
it's crazy. That's crazy.
Wild.
No,
$10,000, yeah.
it's funny because I do trip over people all the time. It does happen, especially people that, like, sneak up behind me and, like, I have to backpedal, like, while taking pictures, and I don't realize
Right.
someone's in the aisle, and I've tripped over people before. I've tripped over kids. That's a whole other topic for another day, but the kids this year at weddings are out of control.
Right, right. It's
Out
definitely
of
25.
control. And I'm a
I was gonna
mom,
say
and you're a
right, and
mom.
so we get it.
Like, the things some people are letting their kids do at
Oh,
these
I know, it's
weddings is
wild.
appalling, and I'm say I don't care, someone come at me, like, appalling. I had to this year run over and grab a videographer's tripod during speeches because a kid ran up and was grabbing on the pole, like, dancing on it, and the
Oh,
videographer wasn't
no.
watching because he was hand-holding, so he was, like,
Correct,
over
yeah.
panning and getting, like, guests' reactions, so his back was turned, and I looked over at the parents, and I'm, like, kinda, like, signaling it's during speeches, I'm taking photos, signaling, "Can you come get?" And they just looked at me and they were like, not once did they ever, like, get up and come get their child. If that camera hits the ground,
Yeah, no, that's a
that's a
big issue. That's
$5,000
thousands, yeah.
camera plus a lens,
Mhm.
plus, like, the microphone, and that's
It's
just
not
one of
funny,
my
but it's
many
just I
stories.
see it so often that,
Ah,
like, it's sadly, like, that's just, like, the norm now, which is I was gonna say 2025 trend is definitely, the
kid friendly.
year of yes, the kids running amok and bridal parties unhinged again. I'm having a lot of unhinged bridal
Really?
parties.
Really?
I'm
Don't
it's
tell
so
me that
funny. It's
because
like
I'm
50-50. It's like great bridal parties
oh,
and then unhinged, very, like, entitled,
okay.
snappy bridal
Oh, I
parties,
haven't
and I'm
gotten
like,
that. I don't jinx me because my bridal parties this year, I actually have blogged it many times that bridal parties this year are not like 10 years ago, millennial bridal parties who were, like, drunk before the ceremony, and we were having to
no,
physically get
it's
them
not a
to
lot
the
of drunk.
ceremony.
Yeah, for
Just
sure. It's not
I
a lot
haven't
of
had
drunk, but I know
attitudes
what
or
you mean.
anything, so don't
That's
jinx me
nice.
for
Oh,
next year
wait,
because
so
I've
go ahead
really
and tell your
enjoyed.
story. Go ahead and tell your story about, somebody booking you based upon this. You had, like, a
So
rebuttal.
yes, 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 yes. So Ashley was telling me, before we started the podcast, just in general conversation, because we were debriefing while I was getting everything set up, that this, this reel was taken off and people, had a lot of opinions and were agreeing with it and whatnot. And I do, for the most part, want you to stay out of the aisle. I want you to stay out of the aisle. Like it makes it difficult. And I'll tell this part before I tell the part you want me to tell is that after 10 years of doing this, I'm still learning things. I'm still changing the way I do things. I'm still noticing what people like and don't like. And what you're saying is very much what a couple that just came to my studio and they just finished their print order and their wedding album. And when we were going through the final pictures for the wedding album, they were like, I love this picture. And it was like of them coming down the aisle toward me. They're like, but look at my Uncle Ted. He's half in the aisle. And he was wearing like a bright orange shirt.
Uncle
So, like,
Ted.
his shoulders covering up, like, half the groom because he was between us. And then even for entrances for, it was a tight space and the couple was walking in and they're like, "Look at" like, the people were stepping into me, like, to get pictures of the couple coming in, and I was, like, putting my hand on them, and, like, I gently am like, "Oh, hey," and most of the time people are like, "Oh, sorry," but you're already in all the pictures prior to that. I don't know how we're gonna solve this or handle it. We can talk about that, but I just had a mom who came to the studio with her daughter to interview me before they even booked for their wedding. And it really felt like a selling point because she was like, I'm going to ask you a question. She's like, and I'm going to be honest, the way that you answer it is like going to be a big deal whether I book you or not. And she was very sweet about it. It wasn't a threat or anything. She said, how do you feel about people taking pictures at the ceremony? And you know me, I'm honest. I'm just like, I don't care. I said they can take as many pictures as they want. Just, I will throw the professional elbow, is what I always tell people. I said the only time that I mind is when someone steps directly in front of me or is hanging in the aisle. And what I will do is walk up to them and very quickly and gently throw my elbows up when I go to take a picture and nudge them, bump them. And then I'll say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I did not know you were there. I knew they were there. I've
But
said,
I did
I
know
tell
you
this
were
story all the
there, you
time,
little
but I did know
stinky.
you were there. And I'm like trying to quickly tell you, I need you to just back into the pew or the chair or wherever you are. I don't care whether you take pictures. And she said, that's what I wanted to hear. Because they were recently, I don't know if it was recent, but they were at a wedding where they were asked, and I guess not so nicely. She took it as not so nicely by the officiant that the photographer had asked that no one take pictures and that the photo moments be preserved for that photographer. And then I don't know what happened, but she said that there were photos that were missed. I think the first kiss was one of them. And her argument
Huh.
was, had we been allowed to take pictures with our phones, the couple would have had that photo. And I'm like, so she booked me. We'll see if I have to throw elbows
Yay.
at that wedding. No, it's just see here, but here's
Dead.
my camera. Here's my little paper. Let me show you. Let me show you what I do. And I get back and I go doot 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 doot. Put my arms up.
Hannah's the nicest knockout ever. D D D D D.
And my
And if I'm
elbows will
there, I'm
hit
just
him.
like,
And
Uncle Ted, get in the pew right now. I make it funny though, so people are like, is she serious or is she just joking around with me? And I'm
correct.
like,
Make it
you'll
weird.
never
Just make it
know.
professionally weird. Weird and
You'll never
kind.
know.
And people are like, "Oh, oh,
They
I
don't
don't
understand.
I
But
don't know."
I wouldn't either. So it's not just like, oh, we are smarter. No, it's literally just like if someone said something like that to me, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. And I'd like go about my business. Because I'll be honest with you, it's just like when I worked at Disney for 10 years. When you're on your
Mhm,
vacation, when you're at a wedding, when you're at an event and you're there to have a good time,
mhm.
our brains are like, dee, 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 leaving our body, lift in the car. We're there to have a good time. And like, I appreciate that. I'm like, leave your brains. We have to use them enough. Like, just
Yep,
have a good time while you're at the wedding, while you're at the event.
yep,
Let us handle all of this stuff.
yep.
That's the beauty of it all. So I'm never like when everybody would get like real like upset at Disney and they would be like, I'm going to have to shout out Disney to this, but like I worked for the company and everyone would be like, oh, I don't know what's happening. Like, I don't understand why they don't understand. And I'm like, you don't remember. They're just here to have a good time. They're not here to know
Mhm.
when the line starts, what time the show starts. They want us to tell them. And that is why we are trained the way that we're trained
Yep,
in customer service. So that we can basically make that experience more enjoyable. So I look at it like that's the same thing for weddings. Of
yeah,
course, guests saw their
yep.
invites, but they're not going to be like, "Oh, cocktail hour is at 5:30 on the second floor," and the ceremony will be like, "What's next?" They're going to be like, "Where am I
Oh
going
my
to
god.
next?" And that's why I'm
I
there.
am.
That's why I'm there.
Was your personality like this before you worked at Disney? Were you always, like, super bubbly, outgoing? Yes, I'm sure you were. I'm
Let's
I'm
never
just
talk
wondering
about
how much
Ashley
your
pre Disney.
okay. Alright, let's not
No,
talk
no,
about it.
I was because I was a theater major, so naturally we're just very
Okay.
bubbly and like I was more I
Mhm.
wouldn't say like bubbly happy. I was more like jokester clown, make everybody laugh. Like just like
That makes
I just
sense.
loved being the
Yeah.
class clown. I had no filter, so the filter was absolutely diminished. It wasn't until I went to Disney where I had like a clean, refinished like
That's
class
what I'm
clown
wondering, how
vibe.
much Disney, like, affected, like, your current professionalism. I
Oh, for
mean,
sure. I mean, it
I
completely changed
just
me. I can say that 100%. It's 6 weeks of customer service training. So it's like no joke.
Yeah.
It definitely polished me 100%. Like, I'm still like,
Yeah.
have my sassiness, but it's more of like a kind
Yeah.
sassiness and, like the
That's how I would
utmost
describe it.
feeling kind
Kind
sassy.
sassiness.
But that's how we get
Yeah.
along so well because we are that. We're, like, very sassy, but
Mhm.
we're very
Yep.
kind-hearted and thick, and we just want things to
Empathetic's a
go
good
really
word.
well. Yeah,
Yep.
we are empaths.
You think I'm
Empaths 100.
Have you ever done the
You are a little
Enneagram
bit.
test? I think I've asked you this
I know
before. Did
you
you
have
ever
told
do
me
it?
this. I gotta do
Do
that. I
it!
got it. I swear.
Why have you not done it
January.
yet? Okay. No, we're
January.
gonna have bridal
This
show in
episode is
January.
sponsored by Starbucks. Can you imagine if we had that in our podcast? How hilarious would that be? I'm
We're
sorry,
trying to
everyone.
get
I'm
there.
still drinking my coffee from 8
Us.
AM.
I'm trying to
It's
drag
gonna
us to
be
the professional
I'll have to
podcast world. I'm trying hard.
But you know what? Like, this is just my nervous tick, everyone. So I'm not obsessed with my hair. My hair is annoying, but I think it would be hilarious if we have to say ads because I will be like making a joke about it. I'm like, and now the most
Uh,
annoying part of our podcast. Take it away, Hannah. This ad is sponsored by Depends. Like, that's what our ad's gonna be.
and here's the thing is that I don't believe in reading advertisements unless I've actually tried or used the product. So I'm gonna be like, I tried Depends yesterday.
I actually do want to try it out on a wedding day, so I don't have because I can never go to the restroom. I can
No.
never
My
go to the
God. I'm
restroom.
bladder trained,
I'm
man. I was
kidding.
a
I'm kidding.
nurse. I'm a nurse. We haven't
I
talked
was
about
gonna
this
say
because we just winged this. What?
I know. We don't even have a schedule. I don't know what's happening. We do, but
I'm
we don't.
trying. I'm trying.
Okay.
Wins and
We're
Womps.
moving
Do you
on.
have a winner of Womp? You
Yes.
do? Okay, we
And I
can't
remember
use your
I'm the
Womp
sound
sound.
effect. Why?
Oh, I didn't like your last one.
What is
It was like
that?
it was like you
Whatever.
were
This is
mixing.
it.
No, we
I
need to
am
find like a
mixing.
wedding, like the champagne glasses crashing.
Yeah, that's no, I have a great womp. It's very much like that. I have a womp. I have
Okay,
a
all right.
wickety womp.
Wedding wins and
Wickety 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 whoop whoop. Okay. So
if um, if you're new here, I apologize. We changed software, so our old Womp sound is gone. We're
and we've yet
knee
to
deep
find a
in
new
wedding
one.
season, so we can't do
It's
any
not
more
happening
research.
for
Okay,
us.
carry on. Tell me
So
your womp.
actually, I don't think I've ever said this one. So naturally, I did my sister's whole wedding. So we were like in the mountains of North Carolina. I did her flowers. I did my sister's whole wedding. And when I say that, I think I've talked about we did a family episode, but we never aired it, or
Yeah.
family and friends
No, we
episode.
didn't.
Um,
We can do it
and it's
again
just, I adore
and actually
my
air it.
sister is the love of my life, like my soul sister. Having access 24/7. I was gonna kill her by the end
Mhm.
of when she was walking down the aisle. I was like, because it was like she was sending me color codes for her wedding that were like 0.5299 terracotta, and I'm like, there's 0.5299 of a terracotta shade, and I was like, what is happening? It was fine. It all worked out. So, anyways, when I say my sister had every detail, she had every detail. She was very much like one of my brides this past year who I absolutely adore. We got along so well. I actually I was telling her about, I was like, you're like my sister, every detail. Like I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. So she had a champagne tower as well as my sister had a champagne tower. My sister was adamant that she would have a champagne toast for every single guest, where I convinced my other bride, let's just do it for head table. It'll be this cute little champagne tower, good photo op moment, just the two of you. We love it. We're here for it. She's like, I'm obsessed with it. I like it. No, 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 not my sister. She's not listening to me because remember, I'm her sister. So,
Imagine that, she's
uh,
extra.
80 glasses, which 30 glasses makes a pretty big tower.
Oh my
So 80
god.
glasses. I had told the venue manager, so I hired a separate coordinator so that I could be present on her day. The venue manager kept calling me and I said, do not put her champagne tower on the dance floor because that's where the DJ is. And what happens when a DJ starts to play music? Vibration. So I
Uh,
said, do not put her champagne tower on the dance floor. Put it in front of the bar where their sign is that says their last name. And she said, okay, perfect. Well, wouldn't you know, the coordinator didn't recheck that while we're in ceremony, while they were setting the champagne tower. And what was on the dance
oh,
floor when we all got in there to do final touches? So I was super nervous, but I also was just like focused on my sister and getting her into the room and doing a first
mhm.
look and everything like that. Because at this point now I've taken over the coordinator because I don't think they're doing such a great job. So I have now stepped in because I want things to be
Control
perfect.
freak,
I'm
control freak, control freak.
And
Same.
so I was
Carry
like, "It's
on.
gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine." Oh, it was not fine. So when she got announced, obviously the house goes down. It's like everyone's
Do I know
screaming.
the DJ?
You do. Mhm. I brought
Oh,
them
if
in
it's
from
who
our
I think
area.
it is, his bass is taking that down. The
It
bass,
was.
there ain't no shit. Is this the same DJ that at one venue it rattles the windows?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's Champagne Tower down. Mayday, mayday.
It was a crash and burn. So I literally
My
just thank goodness
God.
only one side of the room saw it, and the music was so loud nobody even knew. So staff was, like, cleaning it up while they went right in. It was supposed to be champagne toast right into first dance, and would you know the venue manager came up to me and was like, "We can no longer do champagne for everyone because now all the glasses are broken." And I was like, "Ma'am, you
You
didn't
don't
listen to me
say.
from the start of the day." Oh my gosh, that's a shock. I'm like, "Ma'am, like, you didn't listen to me when I talked to you at 9 o'clock this morning. You decided to make an executive decision and do opposite of what I
Yeah.
said, so this is why." So I made them refund us back the champagne cost because I had said what to do with the champagne tower, they just didn't listen. So anyways, what a womp it was. There was no win out of this womp. It was just straight that was, like, my sister's one thing she really, really wanted to do was that champagne and my she kind of started the trend because that was back in 20 Oh my
Well,
gosh, champagne toast trends our trend started. That was like, oh my gosh, why can't I remember the year she was married? 2022,
are you having
right after
PTSD
COVID.
or something bringing that womp up? Because I felt like you were stressed about
Oh,
it. It's been 3 years.
it's been 3 years. No, but I said it was such a bad womp that I'm like, I gotta say this one.
You never told me about this. That's wild.
That's just why it's a good womp because people wanna do champagne towers still, and what people don't know about champagne towers is you
Mm-mm.
have to fill the glass a little bit. Each glass needs to be filled a little bit at the bottom. If not, that is why we see so many champagne towers fall.
So is
Nobody
this one of
knows
the
that.
ones where you like you pour it and it like fills
At the
that?
top.
Oh, that sounds stressful. This is why. Don't listen. If I help you in December, do not put me in charge of Champagne Tower. I will
I've been texting
leave
Hannah, like, "I need your help on December every day in
whenever it
December,
is. I
basically."
am I doing that for sure? Am I doing that?
I would love that. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, you're not gonna make me stay up late, right? Like, can I leave after dinner?
You can
That's my
Anyway, so
only
champagne tower, you
consolation.
can do it, just be careful.
No,
Just be careful
no,
out there
no.
in the streets.
I'm not doing anything. I haven't had one yet. That's
Listen,
fun.
you're gonna find this. Let's shout out Masterpieces really quick. It was so funny. So I made
Okay.
him go to Pittsburgh with me for a planning meeting because he's doing florals for me for one of my couples, and they absolutely adored him. We had such a good meeting, and I on our way up there in the car because we all drove together. It was actually really fun. We're like going through everything, and I said, "Oh yeah," I was like, "It's crazy out here in these streets," and he was like, "What street?" And I was like, It's just a term, Brad. It's just funny. It's like out here in these streets." And he's like, "What street is it?" And I was like, "That's it. We're done."
They're such simple creatures, those
Oh
florists.
my gosh, we can't. Anyways, so back on topic. Back
All
on. That's
right,
the womp of the
back
show.
onto our topic. So we are past daylight savings time, and we are now
We are.
into difficult timelines for weddings because we don't have as much sun.
It's
And
true.
it's cold,
Mm.
and it's wet, and it's mucky, and it's muddy. What do we do?
Muddy
Where do
and
we
mucky.
start? I mean,
I'll let
if
you
you
start since I've been talking a lot.
so I only have one wedding left, but I can go off of weddings from years past for December and January. I feel like November, December, January, from a photographer perspective, we approach it the same. If you are getting ready to have your wedding in the next couple of weeks, your timeline's already been set. Make
Mhm.
sure you're meeting with your photographer and that you understand that if you do not do a first look and you have a 4:30, 5 o'clock ceremony, all your couple portraits will be at night. Make sure your photographer knows this and that your photographer knows how to use flash or has a well-lit situation and or has done inside photos or outside nighttime photos. It's not easy, and I've been using flash for 10 years. Make sure they're prepared for that. Do not throw that on them a week before the wedding. They might need to rent equipment. They might need to rent extra flashes, whatever it may be. Other considerations if you're getting married in the next couple of weeks. If you're having an outdoor ceremony and you are dead set on it, you better go buy yourself baskets of blankets right now. It
It's
is
cold
cold.
out
It's
there.
getting cold. You want people to be as comfortable as possible. Hand warmers are great. If you're a wedding vendor listening to this, I carry hand warmers with me and I give them to the bridesmaids so they can hold them around the bouquet and they can keep their hands warm. If you are someone that is fair skinned and you tend to turn pink and you get splotchy when you get cold, prepare your photographer for that. There might have to be some retouching done. You might have to take more breaks. You might have to have a heated car ready so that you can hop in there. A lot of the times, what I do is if there's a shuttle, if there's a building, specifically not ceremony, but when I'm doing portraits, I will usually do the women first because the men typically have jackets on so they can last a little longer out in the cold. So I'll do the women
Yes.
first, and then I'll put the women in the building or in the car or in the shuttle, whatever is heated. I will do the men's photos, and then I'll probably bring the women back out if I didn't have time to do them or they were too cold to do full bridal party. And when it comes to bride and groom, if you have a bride at the wedding, jackets, mittens, hand warmers, I do anything I can to keep them warm in order to get photos. But this is just a very tricky time of year. Additionally, things are just wet. The ground is just wet compared to summer. And it seems funny
It
because like you're the
is.
spring, you're like, oh, well, it rains a lot in the spring, but it's cold where we live. If you're listening to this on the coast, I'm jealous of you. But where we live, we're into fall, into winter. It's wet, it's mucky. The ground is almost always just like gross. So prepare for that.
Gross.
Heels are going to go into the ground.
Yes.
Trains, dresses. I do the white tablecloth method. Dollar Tree's got me covered. We're just shouting out all the companies today. I put it on the ground. I put the bride on there and I tuck it under her dress so that
Yeah,
we do
it's
not
smart.
mop up all that water and all that mud because it's not
Someone
good.
stole your idea. I saw someone on TikTok was like, Dollar Tree. Uh,
I wonder if they
I
listen.
know.
Are they a listener?
They stole it. They stole it. So while you
I
were
mean,
talking, I was like, it's so funny that I don't know what it is, but I noticed my daylight savings time, they all never want first looks. I only have one out of the
I
6
know. Why do
that's
you think
doing a
I
first
don't do
look.
winter wedding?
Yeah, they all wanna do, like, private vows or, like, first touch.
Oh, it's
Like, they don't wanna
impossible.
do first look. So I have it obviously, Hannah knows, like, when we build our timeline and I have to
Yeah.
bring up something because that we've talked about previously on the podcast that, one of
Okay.
the vendors brought up to me this past weekend,
Okay.
that you're gonna be like, "What? I need to be best friends with them." So,
Mhm.
I always recommend all of your photos as much as you can with your bridesmaids, your groomsmen, like every bridal party member, every moment with the family, gifts, like anything that we can get done in that morning time frame, early afternoon time frame. That is what we need to do because really after ceremony, it should be like 15 minutes to 20 minutes of family formals, 10 minutes of bridal party photos because
15 minutes, people. 15 minutes is what she wants to give us for family formals. Okay, carry on.
hey, most of mine run 15 minutes long, unless it's like a 5-page excursion, then it's looking like a
Mm,
half an hour. Like it's
yeah.
double. But like even this past weekend, like also on the topic of family formals, if you want like a big, big family picture, your family is not hanging out. Like aunts, uncles, they're not hanging out after the
Mhm.
ceremony. We can try to grab them as much as we can. Like I always ask family to stay, but they never really know. And the cousin ends up leaving and
No.
then like it ruins the whole photo. Just wait till reception for DJ to make a huge announcement and then the photographer can grab that at the reception. Family formal should be your immediate family. And
I
if you
don't
have some like
mind.
aunts and uncles.
I don't mind doing aunts and
No.
uncles, but you know I'm the queen of family formals, not to toot my own horn.
Yeah, and I think you
So
can.
they
It's
can do
if
them
you're
at
at the
my
same
weddings.
venue. Yes.
Yeah, I don't
And I
mind at
think that
mine because
you
they look
can.
formal.
Yeah. The problem is if they're at like a church and then they're going to a venue, almost all
Yeah.
aunts and uncles leave. Even though if they're
Yeah.
told to stay, they still sometimes will leave. So that's where we run into the issues is that they don't stay. And then yeah, that way you're going right into your portraits, which correct me if I'm wrong, but at least 45 minutes for portraits. At least
For couple portraits or bridal party or everything.
couple portraits.
I mean, I usually get 20 to 30 minutes at my weddings. I would love to have 45 minutes. Hardly
That's the
ever get
goal.
45 minutes. The goal is 45 minutes. If you set a goal of 45 minutes, you'll be lucky to get 30, is what I always tell people. But I work really fast. So I don't think that that's the norm. I would say 45 minutes is probably the average. But you just like, if you don't do a first look, you're not going to get that. You only have an hour cocktail hour if you like you said 15 minutes of family, but that doesn't include transfer. So like 15 minutes of family on a good day if you have everyone and everyone has stayed. You still have transfer to the new portrait location. So that's going to takes some time suck if you have to, I mean, maybe even just walking, maybe everything's at the same place. It's still going to take time, especially this time of year, because now we have to hold the dresses and we have to get the jackets and we have to get the tablecloth and all that kind of stuff. And then you're down to like 20, 30 minutes by the time you get from point A
Right.
to point B from family portraits. So yeah, 45 minutes would be great, Ashley, if you could give me that at our wedding.
Hey, I always try to give at least an hour and 15 minutes for everything. So that
Yeah.
lands you about that half an hour, 45-minute for
Yeah.
portraits, if it's not a big family formal list. That's my goal. I
And
usually try to do an hour 10 for cocktail hour.
so I thought it was just, I didn't think anything about it. The last couple of weddings that I have done, my couples have asked that if, like, after I do groupings, if I will also take, like, let's say I'm doing all the brothers and sisters in a family photo with mom and dad, then they're asking me, will you also do like breakdowns of their families? So, like, my sister, her husband, and her kids, and my brother and his wife and their kids for like Christmas cards and stuff. And I don't mind doing that. My second shooters can do it, and we've been assembly lining it. I didn't think anything about it until I saw a post in a very popular photography group this morning while I was drinking my coffee that said, what is up with these 3 to 5 page lists? Half these photos, the couples are not even in. And I'm like, huh,
Yeah,
because I've had this happen and I didn't think anything about it. It's a new trend that's going around social media. So couples are thinking
interesting.
this is a great idea, but you have to have the time. And what if your photographer doesn't have a second shooter? Then what?
Yes, yes. Well, and I was
We
gonna
got to be
say,
real
a
careful about these trends.
I know, it's so just like the buffet line, greeting your guests at the buffet
Mhm.
line, not a great idea. The photographer I was with this past weekend, she has the option to add on a second shooter. So she doesn't say she's gonna have one. She gives you the
Right,
option to add
right.
on. So I think that's
But
kind
does
of
she
nice because
know
it's like
her? Do they
she
know
does.
them?
They were, like, the
Perfect.
sweetest little they help each other, so,
Oh, nice.
um I know, so they're both photographers
Nice.
and have their own businesses, but they, like, help each other, so they're both
Yeah.
really professional, which is amazing. They were great to work with. And also, I was, like, the oldest one this past weekend, and I was like, "It's happening. It's happening. I'm a granny. I'm a granny in the industry." I'm like they were all, like, in their
We really
20s. I'm
are,
like,
and we're still in our 30s, and we're all like
We
the
are.
grandmas of the industry. How is that possible? But what were you saying that I would really love something a vendor did last weekend?
I know, and it was so funny because I said that and now it's left my brain. Like,
That's
that's
all
called
right.
mom life right
We'll
there.
circle back to
It will
it.
pop up. It will, but she agrees with you 100% on whatever that was because I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can remember tell Hannah because she literally repeated verbatim what you said." And I was like, "Oh, it's fine.
It's
It'll come back.
Santa.
It'll come
No,
back."
as for people that are so booking season's gonna be coming, so we're gonna have to do another
Which I feel like
episode
it's already
on.
been booking season. Yeah.
Yeah, what's up with that? I've had more inquiries in the last 2 weeks than I did in the last 6 months total. Like, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
Like, they're just
wild.
flying in. And and this is something I haven't told you, so we're just talking on the podcast. 2 of my weddings had photographers previously that they fired because they didn't like their engagement session. Yeah, and the other one, they wouldn't email them back. It'd been like 2 months, and they wouldn't email them back to even get a contract
Whoa.
signed. Like, they had picked them, said they wanted to book, wanted to sign the contract and get the retainer, and because they couldn't, like, officially lock their date, they were like, "Forget it. If you won't even take the contract and my money 2 months later, what are you gonna be like on the wedding day or, like, photo delivery?"
No, it's
I'm like, "What
true.
is
Right.
happening?" And you know me, I'm like, "Oh my god, are these other photographers gonna think I'm, like, poaching clients?" Because that happens.
It's true. I can honestly say, I've talked to you. I'm not going to ever mention what group it is, but they almost had a similar situation. And I was like, oh, this is a first for me. Switching up a vendor
Mhm. Yeah.
after engagement.
So
But I have had it happen previously. It's wild.
and it's been years and years since it happened, but people are probably like poaching clients. What does that mean? Basically, there are businesses, and I believe it's a very bad business strategy. Everything that they're doing is legal, but they'll wait till like 2 weeks before or 4 weeks before a couple's wedding, and they will call a couple and they'll be like, hey, how much do you still owe on your balance for Hannah Barlow Photography? $1,000. How much will you lose? Well, we'll do it for $200 less. And we'll add in something extra. So then that couple ditches their first group in order to save money with this group and get like an extra product or something. And it was happening a lot there for years with a couple of groups.
Wow.
I haven't heard of
That's
it, but I
crazy.
always fear that people will think that like I'm doing the same thing. But yeah,
Right.
bookings are wild right
No,
now. Flying in. I think I booked 4 weddings just in the last 10 days.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Honestly.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I mean, this is kind of like going into the booking episode that I want to do next or toward the end of the year when engagement season comes. But 2 of those weddings were for next year. both of those people said to me, "Oh my goodness, I almost didn't reach out to you because I said there was no way you would be open." And one of them was a May date. And it got me thinking, like, if you're looking for a vendor that like, his, because most people, like, assume that we're fully booked and that because we've been around a while,
Right.
always reach out,
Yes.
always ask, always ask.
It's right. It's a weird booking. Its booking
Yeah.
trends are very strange right now. So some vendors are
Yes.
completely open. The ones that are the days of I'm completely booked are not a thing.
Mm-mm.
Like when I say I'm completely booked, it's I'm allotting myself the amount of weddings that I want to take to be able to
Correct.
give a quality service. That doesn't mean every single weekend is booked, but like that's the same thing for
Right.
photographers.
Right.
So and any vendor really.
Right.
So I would still reach out because you just never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you jive with a client and or the date's
Right.
open or whatever it is.
Yep.
So I
Yep,
agree
and, like, the one I
100%.
just booked in July, I actually had it blocked off because we were gonna leave for vacation that day, but when she reached out, she was in a wedding recently that I did, and she was like, "I hate my engagement photos. You originally weren't in
Oh,
budget.
oh,
We're revisiting this now. Is there any chance you're available?" I had turned other couples away because that was the day we were leaving for vacation, but I know her now, and she was so sweet
yeah.
at the wedding, and I felt really bad for everything that had gone down with her, and I was like, "I'll be happy to do your wedding. I'll just leave Sunday because there's a
Which is
connection
normal
now."
for us
So,
a son
yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Always
that's
reach out to
nice.
your vendors, even if you think they're gonna be booked, reach out to the ones you're interested in that you wanna interview because you might get lucky. Or they might have had a
You never know.
cancellation. They may have been previously booked and someone canceled or moved their wedding date or something happened, and
Move their
now that
wedding
date
date.
is available that was not previously available.
We love that. We love that. The booking episode is
Um,
so fun because the booking world really has changed, and now that I'm full
and it's
planning,
changed. Yeah.
it has changed. I was like, now that I'm doing a lot more full plans, I'm actually attending these tours and I'm really seeing what's going on
Mhm.
with other venues, and it's
Yeah.
really interesting what's going on out there. It really is right now.
Have you
So
heard
it'll be fun.
anything about the venue that's going up in my town? I have heard nothing.
Nothing,
Nothing.
not a thing, not a
Wow.
singular drop of information, which is very strange.
Mm.
But there is another there's a lot of venues popping up everywhere, and it makes me a little scared
Yeah.
for all of these
Yeah.
venue owners because we are a small area and saturation of places to
Mhm.
have events. You always need a
Mhm.
ton of places, but it just not everybody's gonna be able to book everything.
Mhm.
So it's
Right.
interesting what's gonna happen once they all open. I'll be
I
interested to
know that
see.
adorable little place that you use all the time for showers and stuff. It has got
Yes.
me in rehearsals. It has got me thinking that we need one where I live. There's nothing. There's nothing. You know me, always starting the next business. There's
Well, then that's why we're
nothing
the same, literally.
in my
As long as you
area
let
for
me have it as a play cafe during the week, we can do it together. I
heck
just
yeah,
want a
let's
play
do it.
cafe. We need somewhere to sit down and put our kids and have a cup of coffee. We
My
need
daughter is old enough to
this.
babysit your daughter.
See, and we have someone like your daughter that just like kind of watches over them. They have safety training. Like it's great.
Yep.
It's great. It's great business. Okay,
Babysitting
sorry.
classes and all. No, it's made me think that we need more places for rehearsal dinners, showers. I just feel like there's such a split right now of big venues and nothing small
Yes.
that's not like a shelter outdoor. Like we need something indoor.
Right. There was someone
Bad.
that I heard, that was opening they're still in the process of opening the venue, and I was
Yeah.
so excited because I heard it was small, and then I heard again, "No, it holds 250 people," and I'm like, "No." I'm like,
No,
"We
we need like a
need
small.
small. We need a baby venue.
I know. We're getting into the
A
booking.
little
Let's go back
baby
to daylight
venue."
savings time. So,
Okay,
what are
so
your couples gonna
daylight
do that are
saving.
not doing first looks that are getting married during daylight savings time? Wait, correct me.
So
We're in daylight savings time right now, right?
yes,
Because
we
we're
are.
saving daylight. I was a 4.0 valedictorian, people.
She's lying. No, I'm just kidding. I definitely was not. Don't even
So
ask
we're in
me. It
daylight
was a
savings time right now.
3.8.
So what are those couples doing?
Just like
What
I
is
said,
their
I try to
plan?
fit everything at the beginning. It was so funny when I was chatting with all the young, I'm gonna call them the young vendors. When I was
The
chatting with all the
young.
younger vendors, I said, I'm a little bit different from your average coordinator. A lot of day of coordinators pop in at 30 days before. They have no idea what's going on. And then they're
Yeah.
trying to tell everybody else. Bing, I knew I would figure it out. The photographer said, while we're talking about timelines,
Squirrel.
Can you believe it that a planner invited me to a virtual call to then have me say what the timeline was going to be with the client? And I said, no, 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 no. Who was that planner? Because I'm about to call them out because I
Yeah.
am
Thank you.
tired of it.
I'm glad it's not just me.
Who is doing that? I am like, now I'm about to go on my soapbox. Planners, if you do not have a timeline a year before the couple's date, what are you doing? If you are
Thank you.
booked, you should have a timeline. Not at a year. If it's 8 months, that's fine. By the time save the dates go out by 8 months, you should have a
Mhm.
timeline for this couple. 6 months at the latest. And if
Mhm.
you're coming at vendors a month before and saying that you don't have a timeline with a couple,
And that they
you
have to
shouldn't be
make
in
it?
business.
And that your vendors have to make the timeline?
You
What?
shouldn't be there. That excludes us completely. We shouldn't even be around if
Again, pay
you are
me the
not doing
money.
your job.
Pay me
Yes,
the
if you're
money.
not doing the job. So she went on a rant for
Yes.
like 10 minutes and I was
I
like,
would
I gotta
love
hook you and
her.
Hannah up. Yeah. But
It's not
honestly, it
just
made
me.
me
That makes
so
me feel better.
outraged.
I hate that
Yes.
for her, but it makes me feel better that it's not just me because I was starting to get a little bit of complex that maybe I was such a control freak, but that doesn't make sense because these planners don't even know me to like know I
Honestly,
better reach out to her and see if she has a time.
no, and right, literally. And she said, this is why we would love her. We should have her on the podcast. She was like, could you believe it that I literally, she said, I just turned it around and said, so this is actually your call because I was invited.
Yes. Again.
So I was like, what do they do now?
Clock it.
Like,
Clock it. I've got
clock
tweens,
it,
man.
girl.
I
Clock
know.
it.
No notes. So they say no notes, meaning like
No
nothing to add.
notes.
No notes.
No.
Nothing to add. Like if you say something that's just spot on and they're right, you say no notes. Clock it.
No notes, clock it. So I was dying. I was like clapping so hard, millennial style. I was like, yes, queen. I wasn't even on this call. I wasn't even near this call. But the fact that she was able just to set it and be like, this is
Yep.
not, you're the planner. You should have never invited me to a call that you did not have times that I could then
Did she tell
suggest
the
or
couple ahead of
revise.
time? Did she tell the couple
She did
ahead of
not, because
time
she
that
had
the
no idea.
photographer would be on that meeting? No, I mean, did the
No,
planner
no, no,
say, I'm
no.
going to get your.
Mm-mm.
Okay, because I
They,
was like, that could make that
excuse
photographer
me.
look really bad if she refused to get on the call.
No,
Like
she got
lock
on
her
the
in,
call. She was
basically.
fine.
She
Yeah.
did. Okay.
Yeah, so they saw her on the invite, but
Okay.
she literally thought it was just to, like, discuss the timeline that had already been created. So she was, like, so blindsided when she was like, "Okay, we're gonna turn it over to the photographer now to go ahead and give us our timeline." And I honestly, I wish I could have been, like, a little fly that could have entered that call in the
Mhm.
universe and been like,
Mhm.
"What are you
Mhm.
doing? Hang up this
So
call right now. You look like a fool."
I feel like I've been ranting for
Rawr.
podcast days in podcast world about this, and I want to be very, 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 very clear on what I mean by this. If a planner reaches out to me and says, "Here, this is the timeline I have so far," which is what you do and what most planners do. This is the timeline I have so far. When do you want to do the first look? When do you want to do bridal party portraits? When do you want to do family? When do you want to do couple? I love that. That's exactly what they need to do for the most part. Planners are already going to know if you're doing a first look or not. Like, I love if they reach out just to make sure that that makes sense. What I don't like is what happened to me recently when they were like, what time should we do cocktail hour? And I'm like, I am a photographer and we should have cocktail hour. And she's
No,
like, what
that's with the
time should we do
venue. Yes.
entrances? And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, maybe I'll ask the DJ. I'm like, this is why I have wrinkles.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. This is where I don't even ask you. I'm like, hello, this is when we're doing the first look. Hello. But then I say, hi, everyone. So glad that you're here now, 45 days before the wedding. Please let me know any and all revisions that you have so that we
Yes.
can create the master timeline together that works for every single vendor. Thank
And
you.
I
Like literally,
immediately,
it's harmony. It's harmony.
and before I
And I
even
immediately say,
pull,
Ashley, I have notes.
before I even have to read it, reply, I need more time for family.
Throw them in there
You
and
know what
throw
it
them
is?
out. No,
You
I'm
know what
just
it is?
kidding.
It's because I'm over here breaking up families and doing the 5-page request list because I can't say no to anyone. It's my fault. That's a me problem. Hi, it's
It's
me.
fine. It's fine.
Condom,
It's
it's
because we
me.
care too much. That's the problem. We care too much. But that's a good thing. I
Well,
think that's a good quality.
I just feel like you don't get dressed up that often as a family together.
It's true.
Everyone's on
It's true.
time. Everyone like wants a Christmas card or at least a social media post on Christmas. How many times do you get this opportunity and you're already paying me a lot of money? and I have a second shooter. So that's why I kind of let the family lists happen. It's when you don't do a first look and you have a 5-page family list that I actually have to say no because it's just physically impossible.
Oh, can I give you a suggestion? This was kind of cool that I didn't notice. And I don't even know
Yeah.
if the second shooter was supposed to be doing this. But
Yeah.
while the main photographer was taking the family
Hmm.
formal list, the
Yeah.
other photographer was grabbing these little families and
And
putting
lining
them
them
in a
up
really
behind
cool
them.
spot.
Yeah, we do
Well, no,
that.
no, no. Like
To
actually
take
taking their photo.
pictures. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. That's what we've been doing the last couple of weddings is that so, like, if I'm
It's
taking
smart.
picture of all the brothers and sisters and I'm like, "Okay, that's done." Everyone moves to my left and my second shooter's over there and she breaks the families down and
I
takes
don't know.
those
You
while
never
I
did that.
continue with I didn't. I just started doing it a couple weeks ago because it's a
So
new trend.
smart.
It's a new
Oh, it's a
trend
trend.
on social media that's like break down your families and get the family photos. Now, I guarantee there are going to be some diva photographers out there that are like, "I'm not a family photographer and you didn't pay for this." No, because we know them. It will happen.
Oh, for sure. I'm over the diva attitude though. Like I had a rant with Hannah this past weekend and I was yeah, and I just
No, it's
said,
been a couple weeks, I think, since that rant. Yes?
"No, I
No?
texted you on Friday too." Remember there was some I just
No.
want my
I don't
couples
even
like
know what
I'm
day it
giving
is.
150%. We don't know what day it is anymore.
It's
I'm giving
not Saturday. I know that.
150%. It is not Saturday.
'Cause I'd
I'm
be at
giving
a wedding.
150% and I literally and I'm not expecting you to give 150%, but I am expecting you to give your contracted percent. So whatever you have promised this
Oh,
couple,
yes. I
you
like
better
that.
show up with whatever you
One
contracted and said you were going to
That's
do.
the
I
title of
am
our podcast, Contracted Percent.
contracted percent. So I've just had a little like rage for vendor. Not all. I love a lot of vendors in this
Mhm,
world, but just some that I'm like, don't even do that. Like, I
mhm.
just want to take you and squeeze you.
So, there's such a weird divide right now because I am seeing some of us older vendors who are not adjusting to change well, becoming big divas. This isn't how we
Oh,
always
I'm
did
not
it
at
type
all.
of thing.
Yeah.
But then we
It
have these new young ones that just have the new generation thought process and things are evolving, but I feel like they're just lacking that customer service aspect. But again, that's my opinion.
right.
That's my opinion.
No, I feel you on that. I definitely can see that happening. Like they're doing great, but like as far as like I'm not gonna say what it was, but for example, one of my photographers like, okay, so now in family formals, I'm just gonna need Joe, Patrick, John. I'm like, hello, like I can't hear you. Like I'm like, and I was like, ma'am, do I need to speak for you? And I felt so bad because I was like, I just wanted to help her, but I'm not
To
gonna be
be
that
fair,
person.
we
I'm not
should
gonna
not be
step in.
yelling. We should not be
We
yelling as much
shouldn't.
as we do. People are probably like,
And
"Who
we need to
are
shut up.
these people?"
They're like, "Get them to shut up. They're loud and ridiculous." But I was like I was laughing because nobody was listening and I was like,
Yeah.
"I need to you know me, I wanna step
Yeah,
in." And I'm like, "Nope,
if it's
Ashley, just
not
walk
working,
out.
you
Just
gotta
walk
gotta
out."
use your teacher voice. I call it my teacher voice. I was
Yes.
never a teacher, but it's my teacher voice.
It's the
I
teacher
do
voice.
think that you book vendors based on your own personalities. I have couples who
It's true.
say, "We want you because we are so laid back and calm and timid that we need a boisterous, loud, sometimes too much,
That's usually
admittedly,
me. Yeah.
personality to like drag us around and make us do things." But then there's other couples that were like, that I have met that we have agreed like I would be totally overwhelming for them and like it would just be too much and they would be anxious and they need a more calm, quiet, timid photographer. I had a wedding a couple weeks ago where the bridal party was super rowdy, but they were like respectful rowdy. They weren't like they used to be before where
It's
you were like,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were respectful
Respectful
rowdy, but
rowdy.
I physically had to grab a hold of them and be like, "Hey, come here." And like drag them with me because they were just having a great time. There were times where I literally had to be like, "Hey, come on." And they're like, "Do, do, do." And I'm like, "Run, hurry." Because we were like running behind. Is that the
Right.
most professional thing? No. Do I sometimes in the moment question whether I should act like that and behave like that? Yes. But the groom also gave me a shout out on Facebook later and was like, "Thank you to Hannah Barlow Photography. I don't think anyone else could have wrangled my bridal party the way she did." And I'm like, "Oh, good. The yelling and dragging wasn't so
It
bad."
was a good thing. It was a good thing. She was happy about it. I know, I always get so worried, like, "Ooh, was I too intense this time around?" But, like, that's why my couples hire
Uh,
me. Like, literally,
yeah.
they're like they want me to take
Yep.
control of the situation
Yep.
so that they can
Go by
enjoy
the
the day.
vibe.
If not
Go by the vibe.
okay,
You can
sorry.
tell we're slap happy this wedding season.
We
So,
are what
um,
time is it?
Oh, I know
Oh,
we gotta
wait.
go.
So we no, we don't have to go yet, but I was
Oh.
laughing because, like, we haven't talked about anything in your notes. Not a thing. Not a thing we've talked about.
Well, I mean,
I did wanna touch on what one of your thoughts about the engagement sessions that couples
yeah,
are coming up with now, like, they're
yeah,
fire. I love this bar vibe. This is
yes,
it. We're here for it. I'm so
yes.
obsessed with it. I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's
my
great.
couples are getting super ironically, they're all your couples, which makes me wonder, but they're coming with
We're all
champagne
wait, no,
glasses
just
and
kidding.
champagne and picnic
Mm.
baskets and outfits and shoes with bows, and the one couple wanted to go inside the bar and do photos, and they did ask me, they're like, "Are you capable of doing this?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." I did have
That's
to
very
think.
trendy right now.
It made my brain I really had to think through the flash, the dark background. It went against all things Hannah to shoot that way. Direct flash, pow, right at him. But
Which
everyone they
honestly,
blew
you
up.
killed it. It was not your, like,
I know.
typical style, but I think it was, like it was awesome. I
Yeah.
literally that's the one I said, I was, like, cursing at you in the phone, like, "Oh my gosh." Like, it was,
And I
phenomenal.
said,
Phenomenal,
"Don't give any
phenomenal.
ideas." We can talk about none of this was really about daylight savings time. We can talk about this. We talked about, winter weddings, and you need to prepare for the cold, the mud, the
Yes,
rain,
daylight
the snow, the
savings.
slush. When the snowy weddings come, protect that dress from the side of the car because that black,
Oh
salty
gosh, I know.
slush is gonna
It's
ruin your
everywhere.
dress. Not all places shovel. Take
Nope.
a snow shovel. Learned that
Take a
last
snow
year.
shovel. Oh, yes, you had your
If
shovel out.
you're
You were
you're
shoveling your
planning
dough.
your next year's wedding, think about daylight savings time. I don't even know what day it's on. It was early this year. First weekend in November felt too early to me. That's early, right?
Well, I think it's because
Isn't
it
it
was tied in
normal?
with, like, end of October, but I definitely feel like it was earlier. I feel like it's always the 2nd weekend of November.
Okay. I
I
don't know.
saw
Yeah, just
someone
take that
post,
into
like,
consideration though.
how right, you do, you need to take that into consideration when daylight savings time is, because it is gonna throw your whole timeline, so if you don't have a
Yeah.
planner or coordinator, you're really gonna
Yeah.
have to be cognizant of. Because I tell everyone when I'm planning their wedding, "Okay, say hello to your photographer and video and DJ now or band. You will never see them again." Photographer is the engagement session. "You will
Yeah.
never see them again until the wedding day or 45 days prior on a video chat to go through the timeline that we've created," which is completely normal and absolutely understandable.
Yeah.
Video, photographer, entertainment should not or makeup should not be hopping on a call until
Mm-mm.
45 days max. Usually it's 30 days, and sometimes it's
6 months, I've
3
had
weeks
people ask.
before, which is
6
wild.
months.
That's not those are people without planners or coordinators, but, like, you're known like, that's your business. Like, you definitely
No, I'm
are
saying
more of
hair
a
and
helpful
makeup's
photographer.
wanting to know 6 months out now,
Which is
which is
like the
wild.
how many people yeah, like how many people they have to
And
do.
times
I
and
think it's
stuff,
because of
yeah.
hiring, like, because they
That
have to,
makes
like,
sense.
hire additional stylists.
Subcontract, that makes sense. What were you
Yeah,
saying you
because if you
saw
think
someone
about it
post for daylight savings time?
oh,
You said
they
I saw
just
someone post.
said, "How brave to think parents could survive Halloween and daylight savings time in 1 weekend." And I
Oh,
was like,
yeah, I didn't think about that. My
"Right."
kids are too old for that stuff now. We went with friends and they have littles. So we got to go door to door. My kids took their kids to the door and then we
Aw,
got to go home and they got to take the sugar infused toddlers home. It was great. It does get better.
it
I took
does.
the
Does
tweens
it?
home who
Does it? 'Cause I
see,
don't
the
feel it
thing is,
right
I say it
now.
gets better though, but like my kids are what they call Velcro kids. Have you heard about this? They're living room
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
So there's living room
They
kids and
don't leave your
bedroom.
side. Yes.
Yeah, my kids literally, and I'm very close with my daughter. For anyone who doesn't know, she's almost 13. She was laying on me on the couch while we were attempting to watch a movie and kept talking to me. And in a great parenting moment, I looked at her and I'm like, at this age, you were not supposed to like me. Why are you here?
I'm asking you to leave now, please.
Oh,
See, I
I
hope
made
my
her
daughter and I
cuddle
are
up
that
even
close.
more, and she's like, "I'm just a baby," which is another, like, Gen A thing. They put their hands up like this, and they go, "I'm just a baby." That's, like, their thing, and
I
she did
know.
that. She's almost 13, and she's, like, a mature, well-rounded not just because she's my daughter, 13, not like an immature
Right.
13, and she's, Velcro
Well,
kids,
she's
so
the
it does
tween.
get
Well,
better.
yeah.
They don't go anywhere, not all the time.
Well, I think that's kinda good though, because they love you and they wanna be near
They
you, so
don't go
that's a
in their
good thing.
rooms. The whole time in the movie, I'm like, "Shh, why are you talking?"
I can't hear. Sit down, be
Like, "Why
quiet.
are you here? Don't you have someone to FaceTime? Don't you have electronics?" "Nope, wanna be right here with mom and dad."
Aw, that's sweet though, I love that.
They are. No, I love them dearly. It's just it does get better, but, we're not here to talk about parenting. We're talking about let's do a
Hair and
whole
makeup.
episode hair and makeup, but let's do a whole episode coming up of I feel like we really need to do the friends and family episode. We could really dig that out of the archives. We won't have video, so we probably should redo
No,
it
let's
and be
not
more.
do that. Let's just redo it. I feel like we were at the end of season and we were feisty.
Well, that was a bad season too. We were stressed.
Yeah, we
We
were
started a
stressed. Let's not
podcast
do
in
it.
September.
And nothing worked. And nothing worked. It still doesn't
Nothing
work, but
worked.
we're trying.
We'll see. I have a listener question before we get going because speaking of my
Yes.
children, they're texting me that they're hungry. They
They're
have
hungry.
food at home. They just want a homemade dinner, not the
They
food
do.
that is
So
available to them.
you must provide.
I had a listener question that I told her I wouldn't read it that way. There was no way, and that I would just kind of ad lib it. But basically, both her mom and her mother in law, future mother in law, are so involved in wedding planning and against her will that they have started to reach out to vendors on their own. And she just
Oh,
happened to
no.
find out about it. So she's like,
I
how
don't
do I
love
get them
that.
to stop? How do I get most of her vendors, I guess, have like kind of like turned them away. But it got me thinking because I do frequently have parents reach out, but that's always been a thing for me. And I'm very careful about the amount of information that I provide them. But have you had this happen? How would you tell them to handle it as a
I'm lucky in the sense that I haven't had it too much, but I have had it. And I really just circle back to is the couple okay with this? How does
right?
she feel about it? Like, I literally will answer in very, like you just said, no
Yeah.
detail. I literally am like, here is the basis of it. Any changes I have to run past the couple and I need to set up a call with all of us together. I won't do any planning without the couple. And I always say I always give my speech when people book like I just did, photographer, video, entertainment. We will not be talking to them until a month before. If you have any questions, I'm the best person. That's why I'm here now.
Yep.
I think it gets tricky when you don't have a planner or coordinator, or you don't have a coordinator like me that becomes involved a year before. Some coordinators don't show up till 30 days before.
Right.
So, yeah, it gets tricky because then you have to make those uncomfortable
Yep.
conversations happen. And people literally hire me so they don't have to be in those uncomfortable conversations with
Right.
family. I'm literally the one that just says, I appreciate you so much. I love that you're so invested and that you are so excited. This is such an exciting time. Why don't we gather all your questions, get them in one
Mhm.
area, and then when we
Yep.
sit down to do another meeting, we can just kind of rattle them all off and get them all
Yep.
squared away.
That's what I do. I do that
That
too.
was
I have
Disney.
moms and dads. Yeah, I have moms and dads that call me concerned about this or that, unless it goes directly against what the couple has asked for, which I have had happen. Like first
Oh,
looks,
for
I
sure.
had a parent very upset that the couple was doing a first look and really wanted me to talk the couple out of it. And I was like,
No.
that's not on me. That was their, I don't talk my couples into it. My couples are about 50-50. I don't talk them into that. That was their decision. And they were like, it's just really non traditional and I'm really upset about it. So I let it simmer for a while.
Such
And
a
I said,
bad
well,
place.
you do
Right.
know that if I bring this up to the couple, they're going to know you called me. And I got like that
Yes.
pause. I said, and I will do it professionally, but they're going to know you called me. And they were like, you know what? When you say it that way, I don't want to upset them. This was silly, like, and I never did say anything to the couple, and I think it kinda, like, gave me a relationship with that parent. Because on the wedding day, I was like, I wonder how this is gonna go," and they actually approached me at the reception and thanked me for everything and said how professional I was and things like that, and I wondered the whole time if they were mad at me because I felt like it was a threat, like, after I got off the phone, I'm like, "Did that seem threatening?" That I was like, if I talk to them about this, they're gonna know you called me," and I was like, "Ooh," but they didn't take it that way.
No, I feel like it's good to have those conversations because it does build a relationship
Yeah,
to make your life easier, especially as a photographer, because you are
yeah,
working, if there's no coordinator or planner there, because you are working so
yeah.
close with the family. Unfortunately, when you don't have a coordinator or planner, the photographer is the coordinator on that day of because
Yes.
they're just running the whole show,
We're there
really. The
we're the
venue's
only
just,
ones we're the only ones with the couple the whole day, like,
it's
continuously.
true.
So,
Tis true. Tis true.
alright. Well, we did it.
That
We
was
did it.
fun. We did it. I texted him
Alright,
today. I'm like, all right, we got to wait for the baby to be down and then we can run to our
and
desks
then I
and
felt guilty, and I was like, "Oh god, she probably thinks I'm stressed, like, forcing her to do this. Maybe I'll just
no,
cancel it. I don't want her to be
no,
and I was like, "Dude, we'll do it next week," and Ashley's like, "We don't know what happened next week. Let's do it now."
it's true. We have no idea what next week holds.
I know. All right. So thanks for listening, everyone, to another episode of What in the Wedding. You can find us currently on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube now.
Woo!
I think.
YouTube.
I think we're still
Um,
up there. I don't know.
I think. I think we are. Yeah. So
Okay.
please remember to follow and subscribe. Leave us all those stars so we start showing up as a recommended podcast. I'm so super serious. If you have time to go hit the follow button or just like leave a comment, ask your
Please,
friends to
please.
listen, please, please. Oh my gosh, we love you. And suggestions for our new listeners. That way we can pop up. If you have any topic suggestions, seriously, this is an open book
Nothing's off the table.
podcast. Yeah,
Ooh,
questions, news stories, anything you want to talk to us in general. You can even Instagram us, text us, call us, whatever is best for you, or email us at whatinthewedding@gmail.com. That's it.
bye everyone.
Bye.
And the music plays. And I'll put this part at the end because we're still recording, but I had a thought. Because we're going to get better at this podcasting stuff and editing, and I always put
We
like
are
something at the end. But I had a thought in January and February, we could
when
go
we're dead.
live at night because you mentioned like having a cocktail and podcasting at night. We could go live at night with one cocktail and we could allow people live to
I
ask
may have two.
questions.
You can have one. I love
Oh,
it.
God.
Yes.
And then they could
That's
live ask
fun.
questions and we could pick them apart as we go. Lacey would probably pop on
You're
and
gone.
she could be the one in charge of
You're
like pulling the
gone.
questions.
You're gone.
I'm
Where did you
gone.
go? Where did you
Ashley
go?
has lost her iPod. I'm just going to keep talking.
Wait,
So
where is it? Oh my God. My AirPod is gone. Wait, I can put the other one in. I have to pee. Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
can you
Hello.
yes, can you hear me?
Hello. Wait,
Hello, hello, hello,
how does this happen
hello,
to me?
hello,
I'm not
hello.
connected now.
It's
Connecting.
okay. It's all
What?
right. Can you hear me now? Did they die?
What happened?
I don't know. But anyway, people, Ashley can listen to it later. It's fine.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
But we can go live and you can ask questions. And we'll have Lacey pick the
This
questions
is
up
not
and
great.
pass them to us. And then we will be able to answer your questions live as you ask them during wedding planning season. All right, y'all. Bye.